Hey guys, this is Awesome John 22, and look, I'm still alive and able to do video reviews of toys. Yay, applause, applause. It's been a while. I had some trouble with my lighting setup. Obviously, I've got it going again. I also had some trouble with the burns on my hand, which I mentioned in a previous video, but as you can see, I've only got this spot here and this spot along here and here really to worry about. I also tried to pull a hangnail on my thumb and tore the skin a little bit, but that's a whole other story. Overall, I think it looks better. I feel better about putting it in front of a camera and subjecting you guys to it anyway. So here I am, back with more reviews, and today we're looking at the final Bumblebee in my collection. After a very long gap there between videos, we are looking at the Hunt for the Decepticons Battle Blade Bumblebee, I believe is what he was called. And, of course, just Googling him is too difficult. But hey, this is me we're talking about. This figure's cool. I like this figure. I like it a lot. I've mentioned that already. He's been in a couple of my other reviews as a size comparison / general comparison figure. And I may have already gushed about him a bit, so I'm going to try not to gush too much in this review and just move right along by getting this guy transformed up through the power and magic of jump cuts. And here we have Bumblebee transformed up into his vehicle mode, and it's very, very nice. You see we've got molded vents on the side, molded door handles. You got Camaro molded in right there. Fantastic. Painted silver rims with that really nice Hasbro metallic silver. Really cool stripes there on the back and front, and I noticed on the camera I had to paint over those stripes a little bit because they faded, and it shows up way more on camera than it does in real life. I apologize for that. Real cool vibrant red Chevy logo there between those silver painted headlights. It looks very, very nice. And all this black around here really does a good job of picking out some really good details on the grill and on the vents underneath and on the fog lights. You see this nice molded divot here, great translucent blue head windshield and windows rather. And on the back here, really cool painted red taillights, and there's more silver back here, but I painted that myself, so don't pay attention to that. Still, the molded detail was all there. It was all very, very nice, and I just picked it out. You can see, looking at his profile, you can see very little robot kibble underneath him. Just a little bit of his hands and a little bit of his toes and some of his feet back here, but that could be like part of the muffler or something. Gas cap molded in up there, if you didn't see it a second ago. Very, very nice. Rolls, very, very nice, and is just a great looking representation of what the Camaro looked like at the time. And while I think the new Age of Extinction Bumblebee, the most recent one that I reviewed, does a better job of representing the Camaro now, there really wasn't anything better than this at the time. It looked and still looks absolutely fantastic. But it isn't the vehicle mode alone which makes this the definitive movie Bumblebee. There's a lot more to that, so we're going to move right into it now. First of all, we're going to start by opening his doors. And this is back when Bumblebee's doors were still his door wings, so, you know, just FYI. Next we're going to come back here, and we're going to kind of loosen these two sections and bring them down and apart around these tabs on this back section that was holding it in place, because they are very flimsy and we don't want to break them, so we want to be careful. Now we're going to come underneath and we're going to kind of loosen up these arms and bring them up like so, because as you can see, these arm panels do kind of wedge themselves under the legs in vehicle mode. We're going to do that on both sides. Then we're just going to go ahead and fold out the hands, because if I don't do it now, I'll probably forget later. Now we're going to come back down to the legs and just get them done real quick. Let me take this, you can see there's this. That hinge is where the leg will eventually straighten out. So keep that in mind. First of all, though, we're going to come out here and loosen this outside panel, as you can see. Bring it back a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And that'll loosen everything up and allow us to bring this foot down, which brings this back panel up, and then it gives us clearance to straighten everything out at that aforementioned joint, which is on the same little piece as the knee joint. Next, we're just going to fold this back and fold it up like so. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to loosen up, and that was already loose, it must have already popped loose. Loosen up this panel on the other side. That usually doesn't happen. Usually these are really tightly fixed into place. But anyway, bring this whole thing down, just like we did on the other side. Show you it from the other side now. And then straighten out his leg like so. And then fold this up into place like so you can kind of see its orientation on the leg from the side. And his feet are at this point pretty much done. All we have left to do is come down here and fold out his toes. And what I like to do at this point is come here onto the back and pop this whole section up and just fold it up like so, because that's where it's going to end up in robot mode anyway. Next, we're going to come here and move up so you can actually see that. Take his wheels and fold them out like so. And fold them so they're flush with the doors. Next, we're going to take his arms, and we're going to see there's these hinges here. We're going to fold his arms out on those hinges and then use the ball joint to angle them down into place. Show that again, fold it out, use the ball joint to angle them into place. Next, we're going to rotate his arms around like so. Then we're going to take each of these arm panels and figure out which way they rotate, because they do only rotate one way. And then we're going to rotate them into position. And zooming back a little bit more, you can see Bumblebee kind of coming together at this point. Next up, we're going to take this panel here, fold it out, and we're just going to kind of fold this down. And if I've done everything right, and I probably haven't. Oh no, I have. This will fold down and it'll bring this little panel with the Autobot symbol out. Just moving everything around will do that. And then you can kind of slide these panels on his chest forward enough to fold them up, because they are on these little accordion hinges, which is very, very cool, by the way. And then bring these vent pieces up into a V shape. They were like that, now they're like that. And you'll see now his back is all correctly in place, and his chest is in place for the most part. The last thing we have to do, you'll see two little peg holes on the back of this abdominal panel and two little tabs there. Just peg that in to hold everything in place. Angle the chest pieces how you like them, and get everything situated. And now you have Bumblebee in his robot mode, and I'm still fiddling with him. Bumblebee in his robot mode, and he looks fantastic. Between having a great screen accurate vehicle mode and a great transformation and a great screen accurate, for the most part, robot mode, this Bumblebee is the definitive Bumblebee for me, in the same way that Revenge of the Fallen Leader Optimus Prime is the definitive Optimus Prime for me from the movieverse. Even though both of those characters have had their looks completely revitalized in the new movie, I still think that this is a better figure than any of the new Bumblebee figures. Just like I still think that Leader Class Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen is still the best Optimus Prime Leader Class figure we've gotten from the movies. And quite frankly, I don't see anything changing that, at least not for a while. The trend with the movies, if the pattern holds from the previous trilogy, is that we will not start to get really good, really accurate representations of more complicated Transformers until the second movie is already out. And while that kind of bums me out, I'm perfectly willing to wait, provided that the figures we get at that time are of the quality of this figure and Revenge of the Fallen Leader Optimus Prime, because both of them are absolutely great. This Bumblebee is absolutely great. Once again, we had some instances where I painted some stuff myself. On this guy, his toes were not metallic before I painted them, and neither was anything on this arm piece. All of that was painted by me. To show you what the arm piece does, if you come here and split this along this seam, you can then fold this around, fold his hand in, and now he has his little Bumblebee blaster. And you can fold these back up now. I prefer not to, because I prefer to hide the hand, make it look like the whole thing folded out from the hand. And it looks very, very cool. There's some fantastic detailing inside the blaster, as you can see. And he can wield it very well, and he looks good doing it. Just absolutely very cool. But he is called Battle Blades Bumblebee. So he has his battle blade as well, and it folds out like so, and then extends on this hinge, and now he has this little axe-like thing that I really, really like. Great blue translucent plastic, the same color as his windows. The only issue I have with it is, well, aside from the fact that the axe seems like it should be facing the other direction, is that he has these elbow crunches rather than regular elbows, and we've seen this on a lot of figures before, and this is literally, well, I move his chest plates out of the way and have to fix them. This is the only complaint I have about this figure, literally the only one, like legitimately. I'm sure I could find other ones if I tried, is that he doesn't have proper elbows, so he can't swing his weapon up and down unless he does it at the shoulder, and that really annoys me. But he does have even more features than this, if you can believe it. First of all, we're going to take a look at his light piping in my new lighting setup. You can see shines very, very well, very bright blue optics. Keeping it on the head, but moving it back a bit. We're going to come here, and if I can show this off without getting in the way of myself, take this panel here along the top and just kind of slide it forward, and it gets a little stuck. You can see it coming forward like that, as far as it'll go, like so, and then bring it down. And now Bumblebee has his battle mask, and it's not quite screen accurate. It's basically just a yellow panel with stripes on it that covers his eyes, but it gives him this look. It gives him this decked out, battle ready, I'm coming in weapons blazing, ready for anything kind of look. And it's not only is it a nice touch that didn't have to be there, but it looks very, very good all together with everything else that this figure already can do. And I need to stop feeling that now. Absolutely fantastic. In terms of articulation, we already saw the dreaded arm crunches. He also has ball joints at the shoulders, which offer a huge range of movement. Go ahead and bring the mask back up because it's going to get in the way. Ball jointed head with fantastic movement. Due to the nature of the transformation, though, he has nothing in the waist, but he does have ball jointed hips, rotation 360 at the thigh, about 80-85 degree knee bend, and then some limited movement in his footsies. About standard for Bumblebee, but certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination, except in the arms, as I've already said. All in all, I don't really have a preference one way or another as to which movie Bumblebee design I like more, but I certainly have a preference as to which movie Bumblebee toy I like more, and the answer is this one. It is the best Bumblebee toy in my collection by a staggeringly wide margin, and I don't think anything's going to ever change that, as I said before, at least not until the second movie of the new trilogy, and maybe not even then. This is Bumblebee figure that I absolutely recommend you find and purchase if you do not already own it and you have any like for Bumblebee at all. It is just that good. This is Hunt for the Decepticons Battle Blade Bumblebee, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, I can't just Google it, obviously. No, Battle Blade Bumblebee, in my opinion, based on what I've seen of it, better than Human Alliance Bumblebee, simply because I think it fits better in scale with Leader Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen, which I've already said is the best Optimus Prime. And also because I don't particularly like the Voyager-sized Human Alliance figures anyway, but that's a whole other story. Definitely better than any of the other Bumblebees we got from the first 3 movies. And while I do like the newest version of Bumblebee from Age of Extinction, the modern day Camaro version, it doesn't live up to this. It doesn't capture Bumblebee as a Transformer from the movieverse as well as this one does. And I think that's what really, in the end, makes all the difference. So just as I would recommend Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime over the new Leader Class Optimus Prime, I recommend this Bumblebee over all Bumblebees, and that's why I waited until the end of my unofficial Bumblebee series to talk about him, because the best should be saved for last. So go out, no hesitation, pick it up as soon as it's within your ability to do so. Unless you just hate Bumblebee, which, you know, part of me can understand that. Now, finally, before I say goodbye to you guys today, I do want to take a look at this guy next to a couple of other Bumblebees from my collection. Just kind of get a size comparison going. Let me grab them off the other shelf over here. Alright, here we go. Wait a minute. Those aren't Bumblebees.